Hello, everyone. It's my fourth year to East Denver, and still so glad to be here. And today I'm going to talk about decentralized social revolution for public good. And my name is Suji, founder of Mass Network. It's been my 10-year venture in Web3. I jumped in crypto around 2016 and become full-time in this area, and start to realize there's no one doing a lot of public good, and there's still a lot of things missing. And I went full-time, built a mass network, raising money, listed in everywhere, and eventually start a venture fund to help the younger, like even younger generation founders. But what's going on with the cyberspace? What's going on with the internet? How's the current stage? If this is revolution, how's the current stage of revolution? What's the next step of the revolution? I think that's a question not a few people talk about. And today I'd like to share my thoughts and our experiments so far. So little background about what I've done outside of crypto. I did something called like 1996 movement back in the days on GitHub. We create many licenses, the 1996 license, and we use GitHub as a way to do hacktivism or activism that eventually blow up, become the top 10, still the top 10 GitHub repo. I got a lot of like Stockware airdrop for this. Pretty cool. And that's a revolution. They use the cyberspace as a battleground, and that's a revolution. And when I did that back in my like first year in crypto, I was like recording something I read as a teenager. That's very few people still code this in the industry right now. That's the 1996 Declaration of Independence of Cyberspace by the EFF founder John Barlow. He said that the governments of the industrialized world, you're very giants of flesh and steel. I come from cyberspace, the new home of mind. And he also said, you have no sovereignty where we gather. So that is a masterpiece written by him from 1996. I didn't see a lot of people code this nowadays, but that's like the enlightenment one when I was a kid. And that reason pushed me jump into the crypto or Web3 or whatever cyberspace revolution. Basically, we kind of agree. I think a lot of OG and core people in the industry agree that we are heading to something called of like network state, doesn't matter, something like independent power superseding the nation states. And there's some takeaways from his declaration, even like 30 years ago. There's some goals we aim for, right? The independence, the declaration. There's a battle we're in the middle of. We call it a great civil war. The battle about not only privacy, the battle about decentralization, the battle about like more nodes running Ethereum, the battle about like fewer company, fewer nation state control it. And there's role models, right? Vitalik is one of the role models, and there's other Cypherpunks, right? Edward Snowden, Aaron Schwartz, and even more. And there's people sacrifice from it, right? There's missions. But in reality, we are in a very interesting stage. I'd say like we're in the stage of like the East Cyberspace company stage. So the East India company, you guys all read from the history book, right? What is that? It's a colonized company. A lot of European power have the colonized company name as East Indian company back in the days, and the most powerful one is the UK one, it's the British Empire one, right? And they colonized the India, some part of the China, and the North America, and many other places of the world. They gather and they exploit the local people, right? And the same thing happened for the cyberspace. The cyberspace seems to have no native citizens here, but actually there's a lot. Like the people who grow up with the computer, people who grew up with crypto, people who grew up with your phone, they're the Siberian, they're the first generation cyberspace native citizen. They got exploited a lot by these East India company, East Cyberspace company. I'd say like Tencent is the Chinese version of East Indian company, and Facebook is the American version of the East Cyberspace company. They're just here. So we're at this stage. Just forget about the small crypto bubble. We're at this stage of the larger internet, and there's some plan to the future, right? And we know there's different calling, like start your community, start currency, start a country. Shout out to Balaj and his ideas, very cool. But what is the plan? So on the other side, seems AI is being the buzzword, right? AI is taking off. Besides of the out of the crypto bubble, everyone love AI, and the question will be, my question will be, are we gonna give AI human rights? If we're gonna give AI human rights one day, they're gonna have to have bank accounts, right? And what is the bank accounts for AI? Is it gonna be crypto address? Are we gonna give them, free of speech? Because AI don't have free speech right now on the Web2 social media. They get banned, right? Are they gonna get free of speech in the crypto social media? Because eventually they're gonna own their address, they're gonna own their account, they can post whatever they want, right? And so if that is the direction, are we gonna partner with these guys, or partner with these AIs finding their human rights and eventually claim the citizenship of the Siberian? I think that's gonna be a very interesting topic. So the current stage right now, I'm gonna go through a little bit from my OG memory. So when I joined the industry, that's around 2015, 2016. There's a little few ICO out there. There are some successful ones from that age, MakerDAO, other OG DeFi projects. So that kind of like fix the problem of financing, right? And listing and trading. You need to have something for your daily meals. So that's the time that we have the ICOs back in the days. And then we have some kind of like citizenship for the cyberspace. You're gonna have an address. Once you open, people start to open Ethereum address, not the CEX address. You're gonna have some citizenship. You're gonna have an address. That's like your national ID or your passport number. No one knows what's going on. No one knows what the number means, but you have to remember that. If you lost your passport, you have to remember that number. This is the same thing for the Ethereum. You're gonna remember your private key and remember the numbers and the characters for your address. You have some kind of like citizenships, even just for banking. And then we have ENS, we have some DIDs. We can have like naming systems. You can just choose your names, right? And other people cannot take your names away. And we gradually have more decentralized finance system. We can trade without a middleman. In the early days, there's still middlemen even in the crypto space. And we can have like crypto Legos, finance Legos. That's what happened in the next cycle. In the previous cycle, 2021, people start to have DeFi Legos connect to each others. But this is not enough. This is not enough, right? So I'm gonna use, because I'm Chinese, I'm gonna use a very interesting historical example that the Dr. Sun Yat-sen's revolution and the birth of the Republic of China in 1911. So in 1911, 1 year before that, 1910, there's still China is still ruled by the Qing dynasty, right? There's still monarchies. There's still like kings, and Dr. Sun, he's like the Chinese League. This is like the Avengers, right? They have the ideas. They have the idea of raising money and create something like DAOs all over the world. So they basically print something called Chinese Revolution coin by printers and sell the Chinese Revolution coins. Say, hey, everyone who want to join the revolution, just please buy some Chinese Revolution coins. It's an ICO, and he signed, used his name. So this is like a non-cryptographic signature proof ICO. And tons of like overseas Chinese, not only overseas Chinese, like people who care about democracy, love to see the birth of the first republic in Asia at that time, and they just buy it, right? And there's no KYC needed, because again, this 1910, 1895 to 1910, there's no SEC, okay? And they just raised a ton of money, and they did a lot of NFTs as well. They did the first newspaper in Asia as well, Minpao, which is an NFT. It's very cheap. You can just copy, paste, and print it. If you can afford a token, you can afford some like airdrops of NFTs. And they create a lot of DAOs. They use the master DAO to fund the sub DAOs all across different places in China, and they just start like 10 revolutions. And in the end, they success. They turn into a government. That's the story of the Chinese League, right? And that's very interesting, because if you really look into the modernization of many countries in the past 100 years, many of these are following the same pattern. You see a visionary guy issue some tokens, some proof, some ICO, raise money from the overseas people who care about the same issue, and able to come back and fight to the other side, and the success. They create an internal system to do the transactions, to trade goods, and to public newspaper. That's their generations of NFT, and they even use Telegram. Yeah, the real Telegram to send message, just like us today. So for Mask, when we started in 2016, there's not really a lot of like non-financial use case out there. And we figure out, we are gonna entering a point that financial use case is gonna over. We're gonna have enough financial use case for funding, for raising money, for transaction, for DeFi, whatever. But there's just not enough non-financial, social, public good, community use case out there. So Max is one of the OG Web3 social network out there. We start from 2016, 2017. We start to do a lot of fundings to the younger generation, to the other social networks, like Lens, and we even have a lot of investment in ZK as well, like Scroll. So we use our balance sheet and our fund to systematically invest in revolutions. So the real revolutions, we believe the real revolution is going to come, no matter it's like 10 years or 20 years. We use our balance sheet to systematically, we use the DAO to systematically help the revolutions, and I think one day we'll have a great like the cyberspace league, and we're gonna have the independent cyberspace. That's our story, and today it's been the eighth year of the Mass Network, and it's the 4th year of we launched the token. I think it's great being a pleasure, and we launched the token 4 years ago, almost here in East Denver. So it's my pleasure here again, and I think we're gonna see again. Create a civilization. We're going to see a civilization of the mind in cyberspace. And again, quote from John Barlow, the Declaration of Independence of Cyberspace. May this civilization be more humane and fair than the words your governments have ever made before. Let's join the revolution. And there's way more things to do. Thank you.